Hello, this is Kevin with Bangert Inc. And today we're going to talk about the Sage 100 estimating and how it interfaces with the eTakeoff product to allow you to do visual images and things like that. This recording is going to be a multi-part recording. So the first one is almost like the Cliff Notes. We're going to go through and talk about how this works, go through and show some of it. And that way, if you've got interest, then you can watch some of the rest of the sessions that will actually get into more detail and show the specific detail of the different functions. With that being said, let's get started. So on this side, I've already got a Sage 100 estimate created. I've got an assembly for a footing, assembly for another footing, and assembly for a slab that we're going to basically use eTakeoff to help us quantify these items here in my estimate. So I'm going to go ahead and right-hand click on one of my quantities here. So this is my first footing that's 6 inches by 12 inches. So I'm going to right-click. I'm going to tell it that I want to get a quantity out of my eTakeoff. On eTakeoff, I've already made my measurements and so forth, and I've already got them kind of color-coded to kind of match what we're looking at. So, that particular one is my, the blue lines here for my footing ones. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight one of my blue lines, or I could have double-clicked on it here, either one. And I'm going to right-click then and actually tell it to return that quantity back to estimating. So there brought my 89 feet from my estimate into eTakeoff automatically. If I look at my next footing, same type of thing. I'm going to right-click, tell it I want to grab a quantity out of eTakeoff. I'm going to go to one of my orange lines that is my other size footing. I'm going to right-click, return quantity back to estimating, dropped in my 270 foot of that footing, and one more time and we'll get our slab taken care of. So right-click, grab my quantity from eTakeoff, click on my slab, return quantity back to estimating. So very easy to get information back into my takeoff. In the detailed sessions, we'll actually talk about and show how to modify quantities and bring those back into your estimate if you've modified quantities and things like that. So in this case, basically to do that, we just right click and there's an option to update value from eTakeoff, and there's also an update takeoff and an option to update eTakeoff's quantities from within there. So like I said, in the detailed videos, we'll kind of get into that a little bit, but otherwise, just for kind of showing the relationship, I'm going to just kind of keep it, short. So this video is not real long. So the next thing I want to take a look at in this video is in eTakeoff. That was basically all the takeoff I had on that page. On this page, I ended up going through, and if we look real close here, we see a bunch of different windows that are color-coded with different colors. So I could tell, A, B, Gs, and they're all color-coded over here. So I've got so many, window As and Bs and Cs as I've done a scan here to have it go through and find this content in my estimate. So as I look at all this, I could go through and do scans and find a lot of different items. And in my case, I've got a legend up here at the top that kind of shows them to me and so forth also. If I look at the measurement list, this will let me see all my different things that I've actually quantified. So I can actually take that, and this will actually float this screen. And what float means is this is going to stay on the screen all the time. So no matter what I go and bring back to the front, so let's say I bring my takeoff back here, I can still see this window. So that float basically just keeps it in the front ground. Now I can actually go through here and grab all my different windows, and I could drag and drop them into my eTakeoff. So there's all my different windows. So I'm going to unfloat it at this moment so I can focus on eTakeoff then. Excuse me, the Sage 100 then. So there's all my items in my estimate. So now I've got basically each window broke off, and I could come over here and, enter dollar amount associated with it. And if I were to go back and actually hit my calculations, it'll do all my extensions. So that way I could tell, my quantities for my assemblies, or, I had 7 window Gs at $100 a piece is, $700 and so forth. You could also use your parts catalog. So if I come in here looking at like window A, I could come in here and say, well, that's maybe something that's in my part database. So, going down to doors and windows and into wherever you've got your parts organized by. So if I want to go in and say that was this particular style of window and so forth and double click on it, it'll actually swap that description to what I've got in here and also bring the money forward. So that way now I've got some sort of a cost. So as soon as I say calculate, it's going to go ahead and do the extensions and finish off that part of my estimate. One of the other advantages to this is these little blue symbols here in the corner. That lets me know that these dimensions came from eTakeoff. So if at some point in time, if you think about where I had this project at the moment, I was on this other page for my first floor. If I was in an estimate and I wanted to know, where did you come up with this quantity? That's what these symbols will allow you to do, is that lets me know that it came from eTakeoff. If I right-hand click on it and say, view my eTakeoff source, that would actually open up eTakeoff if it wasn't already, actually open the project up, and actually it's actually highlighted that takeoff with where it came from. So this is a fantastic audit trail to let you go back and see, where did you come up with that? Where did I find that quantity and things of that nature? So very, very powerful audit trail when you go back and get asked questions about where takeoff came from along the way. With that being said, that was basically the Cliff Notes on the eTakeoff 100. Please check out the next, I think there's going to be about 5 videos on the eTakeoff. So I invite you to go ahead and watch the other sessions if you want to actually get more detail about how some of that looks and how it works and so forth. I'd also ask you to, if this information's important to you and things of that nature, you're getting benefit from it, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that way you can keep up on new content as we come through. We've also got some Builtcast, which is some different podcast information about construction and so forth. And then we've also got free webinar classes and webinars and classes and so forth that we provide, that here's a channel for finding more information about that. So anything that we could do to help out on that case, also reach out to us and let us know if there's some content or information that you would like to see specifically that would help you be more productive with your software. Thank you.